Have you ever wondered about what's going on below the surface of the soil? What part of the plant is that? That's right, the roots. Yay! So, let's dig up some roots and compare the different types that there are, especially this amazing thistle root. All right, so I think I'm gonna dig up this big thistle right here. It's kind of a weed here in the food forest. You can see it's really close to our tree and it's kind of crowding out the plants around it. We don't want it to make lots of seeds because then it will spread. We'll just have a thistle forest. But thistles have a really cool root. Let's check it out as we dig it up. All right, wow, check that out. It might remind you of the shape of a carrot. It's wide at one end and it tapers down nearly to a point at the far end, and it's quite long. Why would a root need to be that long? Well, this is called a taproot, and the roots are reaching down far into the soil to soak up water and nutrients. So what's cool about roots, and I find it to be so fascinating, is not all types of roots are the same, right? So this is the taproot from the thistle, and it also is a storage root, which means that some of the energy of the plant is stored right there below the soil. All right, and then there's another kind of root. Now you can see that this one doesn't have that long tapered taproot. This root is called a fibrous root, and it's full of long strands, and they travel out right below the surface of the soil. So we're gonna look at lots of different types of roots today. Maybe you can think of a root that you've seen before, or a root that is a food for people. What are you thinking of? Let's explore some more. Hello again. We moved into the greenhouse because it started raining outside. And maybe you've heard about a greenhouse before. It's a structure that traps the sunlight energy and warms up the space so that plants can grow for a longer season. And you might be able to hear the pitter patter of rain on the plastic. And it's a lot more pleasant to work in here out of the rain and listen to the rain than get soaking wet. So there's some more roots that we can explore in here. And in fact, I think we're gonna have a whole root museum by the time we're done. These are the canes or stems of last year's raspberry crop. There's a little bit of green on them, but they look pretty dead above ground, right? Well, the magic thing about roots is there's a lot happening underground, and the raspberries have a special kind of root that travels horizontally underneath the surface of the soil. And in fact, this root, which we call a rhizome, is kind of like an underground stem, and it's capable of producing new stalks or shoots and roots of a whole nother plant. And we can recognize the raspberry by the slightly spiky stems. So there's some here, some here, some here, here. Wow, look at those stems. And some little growth here, here, and here. And those are growing from those underground stems. There it is. That's pretty cool, right? Okay, we're gonna add 3 more roots to our root museum. And these are all roots that are things that people would eat. So take a close-up look at this one here. Maybe you recognize it. Wow. All right, we're gonna gently wiggle it up out of the soil. Very cool. Now that, maybe you know what it is. It's a beet. And the part we eat is a storage root, including, it's got this taproot down here too. And it's a beautiful red color. All right. Here's another one. It's not red like the beet, and instead, what color do you see there? Orange. All right. Any guesses what this is gonna be? Is this gonna be a fibrous root or a taproot? I'll wiggle it up out of the soil. All right. Your classic taproot That's right, it's a carrot. Yum! Okay, and there's one more plant that I want to show you. The part that we eat, often people wonder, is it a root? You can see this long stem. This is just a baby. Give it a little tug. Okay, do you recognize that? I see its fibrous roots, and I also see this part, which is an engorged stem, and it smells like it would go well in a soup. What do you think that could be? That's right, it's an onion. And an onion, the part that we eat, is not technically a root. All right, take a look. I think I'm gonna have to eat maybe a root soup for dinner. I proudly present to you our root museum. Let's review what we have here, and there might be some surprises. You probably remember our thistle and its long taproot. This other weed and its fibrous roots. The rhizome that grows horizontally underground and starts a whole new plant. Here's some cool rhizomes too. Our colorful roots from the colorful chard. Our food root, the carrot. The classic taproot, storing that energy and storing that food that we share. The beet. Not quite sure what this is, some sort of grass. Some really cool little shoots coming up along the base of the stem. A couple of onions. Just little ones, not full grown. And a root that I pulled off camera. This is actually a tuber, or an underground storage structure. A potato. So many cool types of roots. And I hope that you go out and explore yourself, right? And maybe you'll be thinking in a whole new way about what's going on beneath the surface. Don't forget about some of our other creatures that live underground too. Take a look over here. Oh wow. These are some of my favorite underground invertebrates. The worms, or maybe roly-polies, or millipedes, or centipedes. Let me see right there. A little centipede. And also organisms like fungi and bacteria. And I'm sure we'll be talking more about our friend the worm in an upcoming video. Thanks so much for watching. Have an awesome day.